Thanks for the nice introduction, and thanks everybody for hanging out with me for 30 minutes. It's exciting. This is our first. Well, it's not our first Money Show, that's for sure. Just like it's not our first rodeo, but it's the first time we've done a virtual event with the Money Show. So we're excited about that. I've actually been doing Money Shows and Traders Expos for probably, I want to say, I'm dating myself, but probably 19 or 20 years. So we've definitely been around the block a few times. So I might know a lot of you that are on here. I didn't actually get to see a list or anything. So if we know each other, we're friends, welcome back. And if this is your first time at a tastytrade or a Tom Sosnoff event, welcome. And I hope that you get something out of this. We usually go a little longer than 30 minutes, but we're trying this out today. So like I said, we're excited about it. My email is tom@tastytrade.com. That's tom@tastytrade.com. So if you have any questions after this, or you want to ask us anything about Tasty, about tastytrade, about tastyworks, or any of the other companies that we own, I would be happy to answer your questions, and we do it in a pretty fast manner. I am the CEO of tastytrade. We own a brokerage firm called tastyworks, and we actually own two brokerage firms, one called tastyworks, one called Doe. Doe is kind of like think of it like a Robinhood competitor, and tastyworks is one of the fastest growing brokerage firms in the world right now. And what's unique about tastyworks, and I'm going to show you this in a couple of secs, is that we built it on a high frequency backbone, and it is a very simple trading platform and trading application. It's all software, front to back Java, and it's essentially one simple page, even though it's got tons and tons of functionality in it. It's the fastest platform in existence right now for retail investors. It is incredibly stable. It hasn't had a minute of downtime in almost 3.5 years. And it's a platform that people trade pretty actively on. We support stock options and futures, and obviously options on futures. And we will be supporting the brand new small exchange, which is opening up on May 18th. We are an investor in that, and also it's one of our pet projects, which is a new futures exchange, which is about to open up. So I decided to make today's presentation about earnings trades because we're right in the height of earnings season. So I thought that the more people listening that could actually get some really solid takeaways from today's discussion, it would be fun to talk about, earnings trades. We're waiting right now for Apple to come out with its number this afternoon. Amazon just came out. There were a bunch of earnings trades today, earnings announced after the close today: Visa, U.S. Steel, United Airlines, Gilead. And so there's a bunch of different stocks. So I felt like in 25 or 30 minutes, I could give kind of like a pretty intense, pretty heavy overview of what tastyworks is all about, and also to a certain extent what tastytrade does. And I'm only going to spend 2 or 3 minutes just giving a little background here. So tastytrade is the world's largest digital financial network. We are a Chicago-based company. We are a think tank. And essentially, we have a bunch of researchers, data scientists, PhDs, let's call them finance people at different levels. And we do research every single day. And we do 8 hours of live content. No news, no technicals, no guests, just 8 hours of live content a day to deliver strategic and quantitative information to our viewers. We have 100 and something thousand viewers a day, between 100 and 140,000, depending on how active the markets are. And our stuff loops 3 times a day. So it goes live from 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon Central Time, and then loops 2 more times. So you can see it anytime during the day. All our archives are out there. Everything is free. The show's free. The archives are free. Everything we do is free. And you can also check out tastytrade also owns a magazine called Luckbox, and you can sign up for Luckbox, which is also the digital version of that, is also free. All our newsletters are free. We don't sell anything. So if you're asking why we're here to hopefully get you to take a look at our software and to obviously use our brokerage firm. We compete with all the major online brokers. And if this is your first time learning about us, I'm the guy, along with Scott Sheridan, who we're still partners in tastyworks, we built Thinkorswim and sold that to TD Ameritrade, and we built that from scratch in 1999, sold it in 2009, and then we built tastytrade in 2011 and launched tastyworks a couple of years ago, 2017. So this is our latest project. It's 9 years old right now, the whole project, and it's just an incredible company. We'd love to bring you on board and have you experience kind of the tastytrade, tastyworks experience. It's completely different from any other brokerage experience. So this is our platform. I know I'm going to be short on time today, so I'm going to go as fast as I can. This is our platform. Left-hand gutter, where my cursor is right now, that is where you basically create a watch list. And the nice thing about the watch list on tastyworks is everything on the platform is driven off of the watch list. So if you want to take a look at S&Ps, you just click on S&Ps. And then obviously a quote page pops up, all your positions pop up, all your activity for the day pops up over here. And it's everything is right in front of you all the time. There's no way to mess up this platform. There's no pop-up windows. You can detach windows, but nothing, you can't move anything around. Everything's right in front of you. These are some of the best software designers in the world. We've built the trading platforms we've built on a daily basis, route almost 45% of all the retail order flow that's routed in essentially in the world. So it's a little bit crazy. And I think you'll love our technology. So you have a watch list on the left-hand side of the page. In the middle of the page, you have an order page, what we call a trade page. I'll click on Apple for a second because their earnings are about to come out. So Apple pops into the top line. Apple positions come in over here. All Apple activity would pop in over here. And here's a trade interface right here. And if you wanted to see, like, for example, an Apple chart, you just click on the charting over there. If you wanted to see lots of other things, it's all built right in front of you. You can have an analysis page. You can have an active trader interface. We even have, a different kind of mode. Like instead of a table mode, you can go to a curve mode. And so you can see a position that you have in a visual inside of a distribution curve. So it's just lots of different ways to look at positions and things like that. But since we have limited time today, I'm going to go back to table mode. Since we have limited time today, I thought I would take you through just like a brief discussion on and talk about earnings trades in general, because this is the height of the earnings season, and I think that it's interesting because volatility pops up a lot during earnings season, so it makes things more interesting for active traders. So the first thing we're going to look at is Apple, because as earnings about to come out, we're just going to look at where some of the stuff trades in here. So this is what we call a table mode in tastyworks. And you can see these, where the W is the weekly options, and our platform lets you know that the earnings are today, April 30th. On the right-hand side of the page, when you take a look at the daily options, the weekly options. Let me just open fewer quotes so you can see it a little bit more. So when you click on a different option series, the first thing you'll notice on this platform is that it will show you the implied volatility, and in the weeklies it's 108. It will also show you the expected move from now till tomorrow, which is $12.26. Up here on the quote line, it will show you the implied volatility rank. That's how we measure where this 108 is relative to itself, for an earnings play, or how we measure where this, let's just say in May, where the 45% is implied volatility in May relative to itself. So over the last 52 weeks. And the expected move between now and May expiration is $19. I'll close this up so you can see that. So 15 days to expiration is right here. That's regular May options, 45% implied volatility. That ranks on a scale of 1 to 100 at 31. And the implied volatility the expected move in this case is $19 by May expiration. So what would a new subscriber do? If you were looking at Apple today, you knew they had earnings coming out this afternoon. The stock was super strong today. It was up $6. Doesn't mean anything that the stock was up $6, by the way. I mean, Amazon was up. Amazon was up today. Let me just take a look real quickly. Amazon was up $100 today, and it's down 150 or 125 in after hours after their earnings. So what the stock does during the day doesn't really come into play for earnings afterwards. But in the case of Apple, and we'll take a look here, we're going to open up May options. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff that we kind of we did today and we messed around with today, just to give you some kind of perspective on how we think. So with Apple coming out with earnings today, I decided to take a look at some out-of-the-money strangles. And I'm going to actually open up a few more strikes here just to show you. Hold on one second. Okay. So the trade that I made today was I sold the, where are we right here? May 265 puts. Hang on one second. May options. Okay, so the May 265 puts. You know, the problem is they since it got a little crazy here on the close, they took away all the bids and offers on the close. But I sold the May 265 puts. They were trading around, let's call them around $2, somewhere around there, and the May 310 calls. That's the strategy that we did this afternoon. Now, stock just opened. Actually, it just opened up $6, $7, $6, something in that range. 298, 297 in that range. So this is the trade that we put on today. Sold the 265 puts and the 310 calls. Now, what's interesting about this trade, and again, the option prices at the end of the day are they get a little bit funky when there's an earnings play coming out. But what was interesting about this play is that we look at things like the delta, and the delta on these puts is 10. That means there's about a 10% chance that it trades under that number. The delta on these calls, and this is, again, it's being adjusted now in real time, but the delta on these calls during the day today was about 22. So that means the chances of getting above that call strike was about 20%, or there was an 80% chance that it was going to stay under there. Remember, the expected move was $19. We were actually going about $19 away from at the money. So the interesting play here for traders, and myself included in that message, is that, and let me clean this up just so you can see this again, the 265 puts, the 310 calls, and this trade was actually about $5.50 right before the close. And what was fascinating about this is it had enough premium in there for the monthly move. It had enough premium there for the monthly move plus $5. So there was $19 worth of intrinsic room, or extrinsic room, however you want to look at it, plus an additional $5. And so that was an attractive trade to us. It was kind of a little bit, as we would say, it felt a little bit rich. Whether or not it is, well, time will tell in a couple of days. Right now, the stock's up $6 and let's call it $7 right here. So with the stock up $7 and the expected move of being $12, that's a good thing for premium sellers. So as we take a look here at this particular earnings trade, we're collecting $4.65. That's what we call an undefined risk trade. Now, the nice thing about tastyworks is you can go from an undefined risk trade, and if you wanted to just define the risk, you can buy an out-of-the-money call that is just one strike away. So you can go from let me move these strikes up so you can see this a little bit better. You can go from an undefined risk trade to a defined risk trade by just adding strikes. Then you can adjust the strikes by just dragging them up or down. So there's nowhere you have to go on this platform to add new numbers. Basically, if you want to make any kind of trade on the platform, I'm going to clear this and give you just a quick little example. If you want to make any kind of a trade on this platform, let's just say you want to sell an out-of-the-money call. Fine, no problem. You can do whatever you want. The neat thing about tastyworks is that every customer can trade any strategy in any product, even in an IRA account. We don't limit you. So you can sell a naked call in an IRA account, you can sell a naked put in an IRA account, you can sell a spread in an IRA account, you can sell a naked call, a naked put, and a futures option in an IRA account or a regular margin account, anything you want to do in any account type. But let's just say you sold a call, like the 300 call, and then you were a little nervous about selling the call, so you want to sell a put, you just click on a put. And let's say you were nervous about, and this is a short strangle, so let's say you were nervous about that short strangle and you were nervous about the upside, so you buy the 305 call, and that's $5 away. So now you have on what we consider a jade lizard. And let's say, you know what, I'm a little bit nervous about this trade, so I'm going to turn it into an iron condor. See how simple this is? And let's say, hey, you know what, I don't really like these strikes because I want to make it a little bit wider, give myself some more room. You just drag it to wherever you want. So you don't have to click on anything. You don't have to fill in the blanks down below with position size. If you want to change the months, you just click on any of these arrows down here. If you want to change the strikes, you just drag them. If you want to change the quantity, you just type in whatever you'd like. The platform doesn't recognize any kind of a specific spread. The platform only knows what you tell it. So it doesn't have this legacy technology where it's got built-in back-end recognized spreads. It doesn't care what you do. And so again, if you want to sell a $5 wide call spread and let's call it a $7.50 wide put spread, go right ahead. If you want to sell one put spread and two call spreads, go right ahead. If you want to see the Greeks of what you've created at the bottom of the page, here's your POP, your probability of profit. Here's the amount of extrinsic you're creating. Here is your P50, which is the statistical chance based on real-time numbers of reaching 50% of max profit. Here's your delta or your directional risk. This is your amount of daily decay called your theta number. Here's your max profit. In this case, your max profit, your max loss, and the amount of extrinsic. And this works for essentially any kind of spread that you want. And if you said, you know what, that's kind of cool, but I want to see it in a graphic form, there you go. And you can see it in a different kind of, we call it a curve mode layout, but you can see it in a graphical form, because if you're a visual person, where the red is, you lose money. Where the green is, you make money. And it's just kind of neat to see something just a little bit different that way. And you can trade from this too. If you wanted to adjust the strikes and move your put strike down, you could. If you wanted to move your call strike up, you could, and widen out the strikes. If you wanted to move your guts a little bit further out, just to give yourself a little bit more room and collect a little bit less credit and increase your probability of profit, you can do that as well. It's very slick in that regard. So you can see a curve mode. You can see a table mode. You can adjust any of the strikes any way you'd like them to any quantity to create any kind of spread that you want, and you route it all as a single order. So for example, if it's currently after hours, I'm not working anything right now. So if I wanted to route this trade, boom, pops them right here, and it's a working order for tomorrow morning. If I wanted to adjust it or cancel it, just right click and cancel. And you can see how fast everything goes, and everything is right in front of you. If you wanted to trade after hours, you can do that as well. You can trade right now. If you want to trade futures, you can do that as well. I mean, the platform is indifferent we're product indifferent. We don't care what you trade. If you wanted to take a look at Amazon, AMZN, you can see Amazon's down $125 after hours. And if you wanted to trade Amazon right now, it's wide open. You can do whatever you want in there. If you wanted to trade NASDAQ futures right now, like let's say, for example, I wanted to sell a NASDAQ future, but I want to sell maybe a little higher than where it's currently trading. I'll put it in maybe $4, $5 higher. And there I'm working a NASDAQ future, and you can see it in here. If you want to trade S&Ps or anything else, or bonds or currencies or anything that trades 24/5, you can do it on the platform. Let's say, for example, another stock that had earnings this afternoon was Gilead. Gilead is, they had the very positive test yesterday on their new drug. And so people were real excited about Gilead. The stock rallied a couple of dollars yesterday. It rallied a little bit more today. It's down about $2 after hours. One of the trades we did small today in Gilead was we sold the 72 puts and the 92 calls in May. So I'll go to this right now. So we sold, just so you can see, like a very typical earnings trade for us. So we sold the 72.5 puts right here and the 92.5 calls. This is a very wide strangle. And so the goal of the strangle, and it wasn't quite this high. It looks like we sold it at 238. And so the goal of the strangle obviously is for the stock to stay inside of that. And with the stock down $2, and look at the expected move here by May, it's $8.78. It's only moved $2 on the earnings play. So this is one of those trades that, all things considered, should work out really nicely tomorrow. And that's a classic earnings trade. And let's say, let's say, hey, I wanted to collect more premium. Just move it to wherever you want. And then, you could have been as tight as you want. You could have iron conduited it off. You could have jade lizarded it if you didn't think there was much downside in there. And the neat thing about this trade too is tomorrow morning when the market opens to close it, you just highlight whatever lines you want, right click, and then just choose to close trade. And it pops in down below, you send the order. And that's how simple the platform is. The platform is designed to be super intuitive, super fast, very stable, all right in front of you, all indifferent to product choice and everything else. See, I'm still working this NASDAQ future because they've sold off a little bit, so I'm just going to cancel it, right-click cancel, it's gone. And you can use our software, our website, our mobile apps, and we have a full trade desk as well. One of the neat things about Tasty is we also don't charge commissions when you're closing trades. So we only charge to open on options, and we cap everything at $10. We don't charge for any stock trades, and futures trades are pretty minimal. I think they're $1.25 per contract plus whatever the fees are. So look at this trade in Apple now. Apple is actually up 30 cents on a $12 expected move. So there's going to be a lot of happy Tasty traders tomorrow, a lot of happy campers, I guess, if the stock actually does open, right around here, right around 294. Who knows if it will by tomorrow morning. Lots of markets move, as they say, and lots of things change. One of the, how we doing time-wise? Reporting, perfect. So a couple things with respect to other types of trades to make on the platform. So let's say you have a stock like Amazon, AMZN, and let's say you wanted to make an earnings trade in there. And I know the stock's down $100, but let's just say you wanted to make an earnings trade in Amazon. Because it's such expensive stock, and because selling a one lot of calls or puts in there is about $45,000 or $50,000, just because it's about 20% of the price of the underlying. So you want to do something different in there. So, for example, here's a trade that we put on today, which is just a very small May iron condor. And I'll show it to you. So, hang on, it's pretty far away from here. You can see it here because it's a 2,800 strike call and a 2,000. So many strikes in Amazon. It's kind of hard to see, and a 2,000 strike put. But it's a $20 wide call spread and a $10 wide put spread designed to. It was traded around $2 today, and tomorrow it'll be 50 cents. But that's a typical trade where you can put up $800 to trade a one lot earnings trade in a $2,400 stock like Amazon. And sometimes you hear people talk about different strategies, like you hear people talk about credit spreads and iron condors and calendar spreads and different verticals and debit spreads and ratio spreads and all these kind of complex things. But on this platform, it is super simple. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to type in Visa because Visa had earnings this afternoon too. And I'm going to go to this drop-down menu here. And built into this platform are all these trades. So if you said, for example, I want to short an iron condor in Visa because they had earnings, you just click on it and it pops. We default to different strikes around the money, and then you can adjust it to wherever you want. And it's kind of neat that way. You don't even have to set the trades up. They're all done based on a single click. Where you see this dotted line, that's a one standard deviation away, and this is the at the money. So this dotted line is one standard deviation away from this at the money strike. So on this page alone, you can see that if you wanted to put your iron condor basically wrapped around the one standard deviation move in Visa, you could easily do that, and just to see what you collect. And we make it so simple that way, because if you believe that it's going to stay theoretically inside of that distribution curve, 68% of the time for a true number, but in actuality, it's going to come closer to 80 or 82%, then that's something that really interests you. Then you can hop down here to the bottom of the page, look at the probability of profit right at the distribution curve, which is 67%, which is exactly where it should be. And your P50, chance of making 50% of max profit, is right at 80%, like I said. So it's really interesting how that works, and it's amazing how accurate the numbers are with respect to real theoreticals. These are all based on Monte Carlo simulations, and these are based on Black-Scholes models. So your probability of profits, all a derivative of Black-Scholes, and your P50 is all a Monte Carlo simulation, and we're the only platform that has any of that stuff built into it. And again, if you wanted to say, hey, you know what, I can take more risk than this, you just move the strikes up a little bit. And if you said, you know what, I'm way more worried about the downside than the upside, then you move the downside just further away. Or you move the upside closer and to collect some more credit. And you just tweak things to adjust by the credit. And then up here, you know what the expected move is, $12 by May expiration. And that's done in real time. So it's just fascinating how everything is kind of, crazy real time. And then while you're doing all this, and this is the neat thing about this platform, and I should show you, if you like things like charts and stuff, there's a day chart up here and you can adjust the different time frames. There's also, a full charting package over here, and you're never getting lost on this platform. You're never getting into spaces that you don't need to be in. If you say, hey, you know what, that stuff's all kind of cool, but I think I want to watch the tastytrade network. You can watch that up in the right-hand corner of the platform as well. And let's say, you quickly said, you know what, this is interesting, but look how these S&Ps are getting killed here. So I want to sell one. You just click on the S&Ps, pops up an S&P screen. And you trade ES and ES options, and you can trade currency options. You can trade gold, silver, bonds, bond options, all the same way, all with all the same logic, everything built into the platform, the exact same way that you would build it yourself if you visualized it without having to do any of that work. So the average person on tastyworks trades about 1,200 times a year. The platform is very conducive to trading small and trading often. The platform has built inside of it lots of different ways to scan watch lists, lots of different preset watch lists, lots of different information that we provide you in addition to all the quantitative research that we do on the network, which is available right through the platform. Additionally, we even show you all the trades that we're making. So for example, if you wanted to see today everything that I did, just click on my name here at the bottom, and you can see basically every trade in whatever, order that you want to see it, by time, by symbol, whatever, like all the Apple trades I made today, and, the US Steel trades and anything else, Amazon trades. So we're very transparent in that regard. You can see every trade, everything's done in real time, everything's done with obviously real money. And it's a very different approach to the world. It's a very different approach to trading. It's a very different approach to retail customers in a retail brokerage environment with a firm that actually understands strategy, that actually where the CEOs and everybody else at the firm actually trade on their own platform. I've been building software for a long time for trading. And it's funny because some of our platforms have been, over the years, they've been, TD Ameritrade bought our platform, some other platforms we've had that have been bought on the institutional side. And what's so interesting about it is sometimes people buy our stuff and they don't even know how to use it. They're like, oh, sure, we'll pay a ridiculous amount of money, but we don't even know how to use it. This stuff is, for retail investors, it's really amazing. It's intuitive, it's fast, and here's Apple now, it's down $5. Since we've been watching, it's been up to 301, and it's now down to 289. So that's a pretty big swing in just after hours. And we have, we probably made 50 different Apple trades today. So it's kind of a crazy thing. I'm looking real quickly. I want to see how much time I have left. Only 2 minutes. And so in the last 2 minutes, I just want to tell you that we have a couple of different things going on. On Tuesday of next week, we have something called Demo Day. So next Tuesday at 3 o'clock, if you want to learn how to use the tastyworks platforms, one of the guys on our research team, Nick Batista, is going to be doing a software demo at 3 o'clock on tastytrade live. So you can just go to tastytrade.com and you can basically spend an hour and just learn the entire platform from Nick. And it's going to be a live demo session, and you can ask whatever questions you want. If you want to send any questions in to me, and we'll answer them tonight or tomorrow or over the weekend, and you can get into whatever detail you want, and nothing is off limits, fire an email into me. I'm Tom at tastytrade.com. If you would like to tune into our network, we go 7 days a week, 7 in the morning Central Time to 3 p.m. in the afternoon. and you can tune in anytime, and you can watch it again. It loops 2 times in a recorded fashion after that. Also on Saturday, we do research specials live on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock on the network for an hour. And on Sunday night when the futures open at 5 o'clock, Tony and I do a live show from 5 to 5:30. And we will be also looping in our Australian branch starting this weekend so we can get a preview of what's going on, 3/4 of the way around the world, or halfway around the world for that matter. So all that stuff takes place. And lastly, if you would like to check out the software, just go to tastyworks.com and open an account. And as soon as you create a username and password, and everything's free. We don't charge for our software. You only pay when you actually make a trade. And our rates are among the cheapest in the industry. We just got voted by Investor Business Daily and by Investopedia as the best low-cost platform in America. And if you open an account now, you will, we just have a new offer where you can get 100 shares of stock for just opening and funding an account. And the stock it's a wheel. So you get it one of 40 different stocks. The most it can be, I think, is worth $500, and the least it can be is, I think, $100. It averages out to a little over $200. So you get 100 shares of free stock. It's better than any other offer out there, I think. And regardless of account size, as long as it meets the $2,000 minimum. So you can check that out, and you can check out tastyworks. You can see why it's the fastest growing brokerage. You can check out tastytrade and see why people love our network. You can check out Luckbox, which is our digital magazine. You can check out Doe if you want a starter platform, which is just an app, and feel free. It's cool as hell. And you can reach out to any of us anytime, 7 days a week, and talk to us about trading, talk to us about your positions, talk to us about strategy, talk to us about some of your concerns. Give us your suggestions. We'll take any and all feedback. We love it. And I am out of time. So thank you all so much. I know this was really short. I was really quick. Next time I'll go for more time. And again, thank you so much for spending a half hour with me, and I hope to see you soon on the tastyworks platform or in some form of email or communication. And good luck. Stay safe.